Hey, I'm back. I'm sorry. I forgot that the, pressing the volume button cuts it off. So I was saying, now that I'm older, even just in the last year or so, I've started swearing so much more in my writing. And even in this most recent thing I'm writing, which I'm not ready to share yet, I have a character. So this is something I'm just gonna mention before I go back to the juvenile story. So in this thing I'm writing currently, I have a character who is very depressed, this is actually my first main, male protagonist that I've written, like, first person from, which is really interesting. I mean, I have had male protagonists, I had them, but this is my first main one. And yeah, so the point is that, it's like the story focuses around this girl, but she's not really the main character. It's complicated, because she has amnesia, and they're trying to figure out how to get her memories back. But anyway, this character, he says a lot of bad words, like, he thinks them, like, okay, so, anyway, he swears a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, anyway, Chapter 8. The next day, Rita still didn't know if the robber of the dictionary was Lorraine or Emmy Lou. It was true. Lorraine had been meaner to her, but Emmy Lou seemed to have an odd feeling about her. Not a feeling of dislike nor admiration, a feeling of mean curiosity. God, this is so badly written. Rita was glad that Lorraine was not a suspect, because everybody was always getting Lorraine and Lorraine mixed up. For good reason. They looked a lot alike, wore similar clothes, and had similar names. Chapter 9. Rita had to find out the dictionary robber. She couldn't ask Lorraine or Emmy Lou about it, because they were suspects. She could ask Robbie. At recess, she flagged him down. I think either Lorraine or Emmy Lou stole my dictionary. Do you know anything about that? Oh, them. Listen, I don't know anything about anyone stealing anything, but when Emmy Lou and Lorraine broke out of line, I wanted to see what they were doing, so I broke out of line, and I guess Lorraine was seeing what Emmy Lou was doing, because she got back in line, and I got back in line, and we left, but Emmy Lou stayed behind. I'm sorry. This is so bad. Chapter 10. Emmy Lou. Chapter 11. Emmy Lou. Somehow Rita had known it all along. The way she had looked weirdly at her, always wanting something of hers. A hair clip, a peppermint, a penny, a dictionary. So before I go on, this is the other thing, like, I never break... First of all, I don't really divide things into chapters anymore. Even if I'm writing something that's novel length for longer, I kind of divide it into sections or switch perspectives with characters. I don't have, like, chapter 1, chapter 2. And 2, if I was going to do that, if I was, like, using the emphasis, like, Emmy Lou, like, if you found out, like, say Emmy Lou is, like, a serial killer and she was your best friend growing up, like, this is the kind of shit I would write now, okay? So, if you just learned that this, it would be Emmy Lou. I'd put, like, a period, and then I would put, like, a couple spaces, or like a couple paragraphs. Like, I would space it out for emphasis. I would not make it an entirely separate chapter. I'd make, like, a separate section, or just repeat the sentence. I use repetition for emphasis still, but I don't do it with chapters. I don't do that. I thought I was so smart for doing this stuff, but I think is dumb now. Chapter 12. The next day at recess, Linda and Emmy Lou were playing two square when Lorraine came up. So you stole the dictionary? She asked worriedly. I still can't pronounce that word. Worriedly? Rita took a step closer. Lorraine had always been mean to her. How could she be upset about the dictionary now? Rita took another step, and Emmy Lou was running at her, flying at her. Then she and Rita had a wrestling match until yard duty put an end to it. What? These kids can't have a wrestling match. In other words, they beat each other. Like, what? That's not the same... Ugh, holy crap. Chapter 13. Several days later, the lunchroom was crazy, but strangely, Rita and Emmy Lou were calm. This went on for several days, until the dictionary battle. That was the lamest thing I've ever heard. Chapter 14. A super dictionary battle. One weekend, Rita was watching TV, and Emmy Lou was leafing through the dictionary, Rita's dictionary. She wanted to see if something valuable was in it. She thought there was. Rita had been carrying it around for weeks. There had to be something. Bookmarks made from special paper? Collector's coins? Collector's anything? Nothing. Not even junk. Oh my god, this is so bad. Chapter 15. Of course she could sell the dictionary, but it wouldn't make much money. That Rita. It was just like her to act like something valuable was in the dictionary, something really good, something exciting. Chapter 16. Emmy Lou ran out of her house, down Bradley Street, up Greeley Street, down Main Street, down Broad Road, and up Midway Drive, and knocked on the door. This is so bad. Although I will say, without writing these things, I would not be where I am now without having this experience. So, it's just, looking back on it, it's very bad. Chapter 17. Rita opened the door and slammed it. She did not want Emmylou. She had stolen her dictionary. She loved the dictionary, and besides, it was she who was responsible for paying for another one. Rita heard the doorbell ring. She didn't answer. Rita? Her mother called. Can you get that? Rita sighed. She had no choice. Oh, all right, Mom. Okay, maybe it wasn't Emmylou, but she opened the door and it was. Thank you, Rita, for opening the door so politely, she said in a sarcastic voice. Rita sighed. What do you want? Well, her voice turned angry. You went around carrying that dumb dictionary like there was something valuable in it, and there wasn't. Not even old junk. Nothing. Chapter 18. I just wanted to read it, says Rita, so low that she wasn't sure Emmylou heard her, but she said, I know it was a stupid idea, but it was fun. Not from me, yelled Emmylou. Okay, she didn't yell it, but it hurt Rita's ears. Chapter 19. Rita slid past Emmylou and ran down the street to the old phone booth. Okay, the phone didn't work anymore, but she tried it anyway. She was mad at Emmylou. She was trying to call Emmylou's mother to tell her to bring up Emmylou better. I'm sorry. That's literally the worst thing I've ever written. 2 things stopped her from criticizing a parent. 1, the phone wasn't working, and 2, Lorraine was coming toward her. Chapter 20. Lorraine came into the phone booth. I'm sorry, she said. I never meant to be mean to you. I just wanted to be popular. I always liked you. It's just that... She broke off. Emmylou was charging toward them with some other kids. They ran out of the phone booth and ran around behind the kids. Then Rita saw something in Emmylou's handbag. Chapter 21. The dictionary. If only she could get to it. Emily and Marion were coming toward them now. Then came the out-and-out dictionary battle. The kids ran around the street, pelting each other with rocks, dropping backpacks, running around like crazy people, tackling each other, tickling each other. Fortunately, it was a busy road. It wasn't a busy road, but there was a car coming. Run for your lives! Screamed Lorraine. They all scrambled on the sidewalk. You didn't have to be so dramatic. The car wasn't even close, teased Marion. Then a shout, a scream, came from across the street. My handbag! Chapter 22. Rita jumped into the street. Emmylou's handbag was lying in the middle of the road. Then Emmylou herself was coming into the street, and at top speed they ran into the middle of the street. Okay, that was really bad. Chapter 23. Rita got there first, but just barely. She grabbed the handbag, but the dictionary fell out, and Emmylou snatched it up. Just to be mean. Now Rita had Emmylou's handbag, and Emmylou had Rita's dictionary. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Lorraine made a flying leap and tackled Emmylou so hard that she, who was running away with the dictionary, dropped it, and Lorraine gave the dictionary back to Rita. Then Rita flung the handbag at Emmylou and ran home. Chapter 24. Rita, you don't slam. Look at your all stained. How'd you get... So Rita had to explain everything to her mother. While Lorraine and Emmylou did most of the fighting, she concluded. Well, anyway, I think that you have learned a good lesson. It's about time you had your own dictionary for school. How about a children's dictionary? Of course not, said Rita. Epilogue. The next Monday, Rita went to school with not only a new dictionary, but a large case of a lock. She just had to make sure that she didn't lose the key. And from then on, her best friend was Lorraine. Okay, first of all, a lock's not going to help it because you can just steal the case. Okay. Alright, in conclusion, that was very bad, but I wouldn't be where I was with writing without this, so I respect it for what it is. So here's another very bad juvenile one. This is going to be Saint Hula Dancer. Now, this title came from so we didn't have a car for a while. Okay, our car was broken, and we had a friend who had a little hula dancer thing in her car, like where they would put saints, and my dad mentioned that, so then I decided Saint Hula Dancer would be a story. I still kind of like the name, so maybe I'll use it for something one day, but maybe I'll use it for like a song title or something. But anyway, So, let's go on with this. Also, this character is named Lily, which is really funny because I also recycled that name, I also recycled both Lily and Rita. Alright, so prologue. The people who had been outcast from their towns in Hawaii were naming the village that they had built. They considered many names, but nothing seemed right. A hula dancer had helped them find the place and built the village. She had been a saint to them, so they named the town Saint Hula Dance. Chapter 1. Lily's Wish. Lily was dancing. She was hula dancing. She loved to dance. She lived in St. Hula Dancer, Hawaii, about 40 years after it was named. She wanted to be a hula dancer when she grew up. She had a hula skirt, and she was very good at hula dancing. So why not? So why not? So why not? There were plenty of reasons why not. First of all, her parents wanted her to be a lawyer like her father was. Second of all, there was a teenage celebrity hula dancer who set up impossible competition, and she had no money saved for a new pair of sandals. She only had one pair, and they wore out too fast, fast, if she danced in them. Other kids said that her hula skirt, yellow, didn't work with her eyes, green. Also, her dog liked to chew on her hula skirt. No, my dog ate my homework for Lily. I will say that at least acknowledging that she didn't have money for sandals, like, I've always been, like, the poor kids, you know, I've always been, like, trying to make, like, the working class stories. Okay. Chapter 2. A Conversation. Monday, after school, Lily was wading in the ocean. Well, she was actually dancing in the ocean, or trying to. She kept losing her footing. As she danced, the humu humu nupu nupu apu wapa danced in the ocean, and that is a real fish that my mother told me about, so I had to include it. When Lily had been dancing for quite some time, a thunderstorm came up unexpectedly. Lily ran out of water and up the hill to her little house. Hey, hi, Mom, I'm back, said Lily. Oh, good. I was worried because a storm was coming. I was just dancing, responded Lily. Lily, her mother said, sitting down. This was serious. I like that you want to be a dancer. It's your father who wants you to be a lawyer. Chapter 3. Lily's sneaky idea. If Lily couldn't get her father to agree on hula dancer by reasoning, she would have to do it by fooling him. She would act like she planned to be a lawyer, and then grow up and go be a hula dancer. It was a good idea, or so she thought. Problem list. Father wants lawyer, crossed off. Celebrity. Need new hula skirt. Need new shoes. Chapter 4. Problem solved accidentally. Lily's dog died. She was sad about it, but check. One more problem off the list. That is hilarious. Lily still needed money for new shoes and a new hula skirt. Mom, may I please have a lemonade stand? Asked Lily one Saturday afternoon. Well, I guess so. I'll get some lemons when I go to the store tomorrow. I guess I'll go do my homework. Lily was walking towards the beach with her lemonade stand on a little cart with wheels when her neighbor, Mr. Davidson, called out to her, Hey, Lily, my lawn needs mowing. Would you do it for me? I'll pay you everything. I'll pay you in everything. I just need a nice straight... Well, I'll do it once a week, and I'll be glad to start when I'm done with this lemonade stand, or rather cart. And she ran onto the beach. So everything's crossed off a problem list except the celebrity now. And I will say, first of all, that, problems are not solved that easily, Sarah. You should have learned your lesson. Chapter 5. The Competition. 6 months passed and not much changed in St. Hula Dancer until the hula dancing competition. The competition was for girls 10 to 16. The winner would get to dance on stage. Lily entered immediately. The celebrity girl was named Rosa, and she was the youngest hula dancer on stage. She was already on stage, but she entered anyway. The main problem with Rosa was that she didn't want anyone else her age to be on stage, so she set up an impossible competition. On the day of the competition, everyone danced well except for one girl who threw up. At the end of the top 10 winners were announced in first place. From 10th to first place, Annabelle Collins, Marianne Lee, Lucy Luna Larson, that was Lily's cousin, Maria Smith, Laureen Cole, Selena Brown, Linda Cole, Christina Palm, these names, Rosa Petals, she was so mad about that, Lily Lonnie Larson, her, applause. Lily felt really, really good and really, really bad at the same time. Now Rosa was no problem, but her father would know. Her father would know she won, and he would also know she competed. Her mother knew. She told her father. Chapter 6. Lily worried. She had new sandals. She had a new hula skirt. She had no dog to eat it. She had won a competition. Blue skirt worked with green eyes. She could compete on stage. She even had a little solar-powered hula dancer in her window. Father wanted lawyer. Father knew. Also, why was I phrasing that? Father wanted... Oh my God. Chapter 7. Hula dancer. Lily talked to her father. She talked for a very long time. She talked about how much she wanted to be a hula dancer, how much she loved it, how hard she worked to earn money for it. She told him about... She didn't work very hard at all. Things just happened. She told him about how all of her problems were solved except for the first one she thought was solved, that when she was grown up she wished to do as she pleased, that she couldn't do both because she couldn't devote herself to hula dancing. Okay, to be honest, like, she doesn't have to do what he says anyway. She could just, like, grow up and, you know. And he finally said yes. She had reasoned of him, and that was a good thing. She knew. Chapter 8. St. Hula Dancer. Lily lived in St. Hula Dancer, Hawaii. And she was a hula dancer. In fact, she got so caught up in her dancing that she forgot about everyday help. One day, Lily decided to entertain people for dancing and raise money for charity. She called it Be a Saint, Help Others. She began to help. Epilogue. 10 years later, Lily was on stage. She was a professional hula dancer now. She competed against Rosa and often won. She was a good sport, though. She still lived in St. Hula Dancer. Alright, in conclusion, that one was also pretty bad. So there's that. Sadly.